I used to believe that if I did the right things, eventually I'd get my turn. I believed that hard work paid off. That if I stayed out of trouble, kept pushing, kept sacrificing, it would eventually come back around. And look, I wasn't delusional. I knew where I was in life. Having my first child at 19, my toddler son and I finding ourselves homeless and living in a car in my early 20s, until finally someone graciously allowed me to stay with them in the projects. And in my years living in the projects, I had 2 more children. Yeah, I know the position I was in life, but I was determined to do whatever I had to do to get me and my children to that American dream. We were going to live in that quiet suburb in a house with a large yard and have that white picket fence. I was going to do whatever it took to achieve this goal. So, I settled in the church, got more in the Bible, trying to live a life pleasing to God. What's that scripture in Galatians? Let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. Yeah, that's what I held on to. That's what helped me keep pushing. Before having to move into projects in the 90s, I was working. As a matter of fact, I was working full-time as a cashier in a convenience store. And I was working part-time at McDonald's. And I was also working part-time at Burger King. And to pile more wood on the fire, I was also attending college part-time and on the work-study program while I was there. Looking back, I still don't know how I did all of those things at the same time, but I did, for as long as I could. Because eventually, I grew tired. And I don't mean tired as in I was just tired of working. I was literally physically tired, mentally tired. And one by one, I quit the things I was trying to juggle. First, I stopped going to school. Then I quit one of the part-time jobs. I can't remember which one I quit first. I don't know if it was McDonald's or Burger King. Shortly after quitting one of the part-time jobs, then I quit the other part-time job until I was just left with my full-time cashier job. That job wasn't enough to maintain, and we ended up getting kicked out of the house we were renting, and I and my toddler son ended up homeless living in a car. And as life would have it, shortly after that, I was let go from my cashier job. But I was not going to let that stop me. So as you can imagine, money was beyond tight during this time. So we ate what we could afford. That meant sardines and crackers, and something else called hog head cheese. If you don't know what that is, don't worry about it, because I really don't know either. I just knew it was cheap, and at that time, I didn't have the luxury of being picky. It tasted awful, but it was food. I would also pick fruit from trees when I could, and I would pick pecans. Some we would eat, but for the most part, I would sell those pecans to have a little change. There was this shack of a building in town that bought and sold pecans. I don't know what it was officially called. I just called it the pecan store. It was a place that gave me a few dollars for the pecans I picked. That's how I got diaper money some days, by picking pecans and hoping they pay enough. Thankfully, a wonderful woman allowed me to move in with her. R.I.P. to her. I was introduced to her by an older woman. And so, this angel of a woman allowed me, a stranger, to move in with her in the projects, and my son and I were able to get off the streets thanks to her. So, in moving into the projects and filing for divorce, I had to get on welfare. Again, this was the 90s, and there was a heavy stigma around being on welfare for people who looked like me. I so did not want to even apply for it. I did not want to be seen or considered as a welfare queen. As I mentioned, I was too hard a worker to be labeled with that stigma. I was just on hard times. But I did eventually find a job and was able to get off assistance. In addition to that job, I picked up another part-time job as a typist on the weekends. Eventually, I was able to get a state job, a government job. So that allowed me to quit the full-time job that I had picked up. And I still kept that part-time job. 6 months in that government job, I got a promotion. And then 6 months after that, I got another promotion. Now, in my mind, the reason for the quick promotions was because I was a hard worker. I know that I was a very hard worker. And to add to that, admittedly, I was also very agreeable, taught to be a people pleaser. I had children, and I felt I had to do what I had to do. So, when asked to work over, I would give a fake smile and quickly respond, "Sure. You know, I was once on welfare, so I didn't want to appear ungrateful. I also didn't want to come off as the angry black woman or anything by saying no. Sometimes I would work through my lunch and not eat. This went on for years. I hadn't received any more promotions, but I kept working hard in hopes that my work and dedication would get noticed and I would be able to continue up the ladder. Meanwhile, my children are growing older and getting engaged in various activities, bands, sports, various school functions. I am also trying to do my part in the church. I'm in the choir, going to rehearsals, teaching Sunday school classes, going to Bible study every week. During these years, I began to become weary. I was very weary, but I was trying not to be weary in my well-doing because I believed I would reap my reward for staying strong, staying diligent in every area of my life. That's only fair, right? Well, I'm here to tell you, life is not fair. Long story short, and many struggles later, I'll save those for future videos. I finally reached a point that I was asking, when is it my turn? I wasn't asking myself this out of jealousy, because I'm always happy when someone comes to me with good news about something that happened in their life. As a matter of fact, in those moments, it gives me hope. But I was asking out of exhaustion. I was tired, and in my mind, because of what I was taught through church and through signals from society, that I would be rewarded for my hard work and dedication. That one day, all of my hard work would pay off. Fast forward to now, I have never attained that house in a quiet suburb with a white picket fence. This isn't me whining or acting entitled. I'm well aware that things could have been a lot worse. But at the end of the day, I didn't achieve my dream in spite of the hard work and sacrifice I put into attaining it. And now that I am in my 50s, pushing 60, as the old people say, I probably never will. These days, in this even worse economy, a lot of us have a story of struggle. The truth is, I don't have a perfect answer. I don't know if anybody does. These are some crazy times. But I do know this. If you've been silently working hard, sacrificing, waiting for your turn, and you're beyond exhausted and don't know what else you could be doing, just know that you are not crazy. You're just tired. And given the circumstances that we are in right now, that's allowed. Don't let anybody convince you that you're lazy. Don't let them convince you that you are not doing enough. That's a lie straight from the pits of hell. It's not your fault. You did all the things they said to do. You went to school and got your degree, or you picked up extra jobs to compensate for the increasing inflation. You have done everything humanly possible to bring your dreams to reality, and those were no small feats. You have the right to feel your frustration, to feel your anger, to be confused. You have the right to not succumb to the pressure of going through life like everything is normal and fine when it clearly is not. After your struggle, it should be okay to wonder when will it be your turn. But in waiting for our turn, there may be one other thing we can do. Maybe we can decide to reclaim our strength. What does that look like? Besides coming together and standing against this foolishness? I don't know. I guess reclaiming your strength looks different for everyone. Maybe for you, it's getting up and getting ready to go to a job that you don't enjoy because you have a goal. Maybe it's saying no to someone who drains you. Maybe it's deciding to reach out and ask for help. Maybe it's deciding to share the truth of what you have lived through. Or maybe reclaiming your strength means reminding yourself, I'm still here, and that means I still matter. What's one small thing you can do today? Not to fix it all, but to prove to yourself that you're not giving up on yourself. You have been watching Unmasking the Struggle. May your struggle reveal your strength and remind you that you still matter. Thanks for watching. See you next time.